Yo, what's up, guys? Damnation-n-Hellfire here, and we're here to talk about Revolution, the Battle Pirates raid that's now in progress. With me, I have Murder.
Hello.
I got RB.
Howdy, everyone.
I got Ross.
Good evening.
And we got Toxic.
G'day, how we doing?
So, how's everybody raid? I can't even talk. How's everybody's raid going?
It's gone.
Oh, yeah, we'll start with you, RB.
No.
You spoke up first, so how many points we chat? What are you using? What targets are you hitting? What's working good for you?
I have been just doing the Hydra's morass because I don't have a bean built. So I've been doing those, and I'm just doing 89s now, just racking up a few more points and getting some res and stuff like that. I'm at a 380, something like that.
Nice. So what all have you got prize-wise?
So I've pretty much claimed most of what you can have. I've got the Manticores going, new Mauler, build tokens, all the normal stuff.
Cool. So overall, happy with the raid? Not happy with the raid? Satisfied?
Yeah, it's good. It's I quite like when getting a new target and finding out the best way to do it and stuff like that. So I prefer to drive rather than auto. So yeah, it's been pretty good, nice and stable. No real crashes, not too much lag.
You're good. Let's go to Mr. 700 million or whatever the hell he's at now. Ross, what's going on, buddy?
Yeah, I'm doing well in the event. I've even I've even taken pretty much the day off today, and I really found my I just usually every raid I figure out what works for me, and then I just stick to the same thing over and over and over. It's very repetitive and boring, but it gets me a lot of points. This time, what that happens to be the Buccaneer Boon campaign for me. I mean, my fleet does really well. Really well, and I'm not sure. It's nothing special that everyone else doesn't have, but I do 3 battles, and then I repair the Boon and then I do it again. And even at coining, at the highest, it's the 15 million for 3 coins. For me, that's wonderful.
Nice. So, I guess with your points, you claim like everything on God's Green Earth.
Yeah. I'm going through now and just claiming those Katie's shards and just picking up the shards. But I couldn't believe that it actually takes. You can spend that many points. They still had prizes available, so that was interesting for me to find out. I usually don't score that many, but I am now.
Cool. Toxic, what about you?
Yeah, I've been doing the same every raid. I've been hitting 8 targets, A sets. I've basically got almost everything I wanted. I'm just going for the tokens now. I mean, I don't need the shards like Ross does, but I'm going for all the kings with tokens. Going for the kings with what do you call it? The VXP tokens are the hope. I'm getting anything and everything I can. Everything I haven't gotten. I'm going for all the specials that I haven't had. All the specials and weapons and whatnot I've missed out on over the past couple of years where I didn't get one weapon or one special. I'm grabbing everything. So, and yeah, I've been doing the A sets with my bucks, and that worked out well. And with all these tokens that we had for the Hydra, I've actually built and ranked a full set of Hydras, but I think I've got the wrong CIC on it, and it's not going as good as I thought I would, but I'm struggling to do one of the S-sets and the Hydras with one fleet. So I normally get there, and I just prepare the lead ship and keep on going a couple hours later.
Cool.
So yeah, it's all going well.
Murder, what are you at?
406. I had to make a change on my blood Hydra at the first, but really I take that blood and I just auto 60s with it, and I used a boom, the boom box, and we got a little pattern down. Well, not a pattern, but it's just a thing where you can run the campaigns, and you're getting one coin will get you roughly 5 million points as far as coining, or you can wait 20 minutes and go hit it again. But gotten, like I said, over 400 million points. That's one of my best, and doing well. And ships are doing well. Going to start prepping for people to later on this evening, and so I got what 3 more days to prep for people.
There you go. It's kind of nice that it sounds like most of us are pretty much done. Like, you know, the like 2.5 days in, or basically, I guess, second full day in. You know, and so we have plenty of time to help other people, assuming that they don't, like, you know, later this evening, like, add a whole bunch of tokens in or anything to make us have to do a whole another like 250 million points. But I'm doing pretty good. I'm at I think last I checked I was at 340 million. I've been doing mostly the campaign target on auto for like right around that 1 coin mark that everybody's been talking about. I've also been doing some of the Hydra campaigns as well too. For anybody who's doing the Hydra campaign, the most important thing is, when possible, take out those long range cannons first, because they are definitely what's dealing the most damage in there. The only other tip I have is, you know, take those long range guys out first and don't face plant into the blunderbusses, and you should be able to do that target for fairly reasonable damage, as long as you have the proper build. I've claimed the Manicore, everything that goes with it, Poseidon, and, you know, bunches of tokens and just other miscellaneous stuff. I'm even at the point now where I'm starting to, since I was an idiot, and while I tell everybody else to make sure they fill up on base parts before the raid, once again, guess who forgot to do it their own self? So now I'm spending raid points on base parts now, so I can get my executioner turrets in. But that's fine. I mean, you know, I don't really have anything else to buy, so I might as well do it.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
So has just one question, then you can say what you want to say. Has the raid been stable for everybody? Like, not many flash crashes, and lag hasn't been all that horrible or anything?
Good for me. I've had one small problem. We can talk about it whenever you're ready. But as far as the game, it's held up real well, I think.
Yeah, it's been pretty good here.
Same here. No flash crashes. I mean, it's a bit laggy, but once you refresh every, you know, hour or hour and a half, then it goes away and it's all good.
I've had, I think, 1 flash crash throughout the whole raid, and I was having a little bit of problems with lag going through Google Chrome, but I switched over and started raiding on Facebook Game Room, and most of that went away. And I only ever really noticed it on the Hydra targets since I was autoing the bug targets. So, yeah, I mean, I've been pretty happy with overall playability of the raid.
Yeah, I have to say the same. I picked up 1 flash crash, and I haven't even seen one of those in 6 months at least. So that was strange when I saw that. But that just 1, and then you know, it was just a bit of lag. I mean, in all honesty, I expected this much. At least I run a lot of times a video at the same time, so I pick up extra. And it's playable now. So I think a lot of that has to do with the type of ships we're using also, being that many of us are using at least auto fleets. That we have to keep an eye on them to make sure they don't go on their own. But, you know, for the most part, they're autoing.
I think we had
So go ahead. Go ahead.
We had all of us had flash crashes. I think the last time, right in our sector, and almost the same identical time. It's kind of odd, but
And I wonder if that has something maybe to do with, like, I wouldn't think so, but maybe load or something. I don't know. I wouldn't think that would have anything to do with everybody's flash crashing at the same time, but who knows? There's strange things happen in the world of technology sometimes, so who knows? So what were you talking about? You were having one issue, murder?
yeah, I had a problem with when I first started. I was doing the 80s and did I like to stack up some like I started out hitting 83s and I hit like 483s and I'm taking like 6, 7, 8 minutes damage in them, and it was pretty much autoing them at the same what I was autoing, and I go into one, lose the whole damn fleet, and it was odd. And I had the same thing with one of my TLCs too. I'd been autoing and went into it, lost the whole fleet.
Yeah, I seem to recall, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think like almost all each one of the 4 raids of this cycle, that there's been like weird random mutant 80s every now and then that would just like kill your fleet for no explained reason or make it take a massive amount of damage. Isn't that correct? If that's happened like all 4?
Yeah,
I think it has.
Yeah, for sure.
This time it's a little different. I ended up having had the boon killed, just the boon. Then I've ended up heading. I think it was the Hull 5 was killed several times. Just the Hull 5, nothing else. And I did have a couple of total fleet losses as well. But yeah, it's been strange this time around.
Yeah, the whole 5, just that dying that's really weird because the boon heals stuff at such a fast rate. I would think it would be very difficult for just a single buck to die that wasn't the boon.
I think it's commonly known as the Kraken effect. So.
Plasma damage.
I
know.
Is it the Kraken effect or the crackhead effect? Which is that?
Both.
I know
the
that
Kraken effect affects the Kraken head, eh?
There you go.
the dock SOS issue is returned for new players that even haven't had it before. So that kind of is aggravating, but that's still going on. I've got a couple in my alliance right now that's happening.
Which one is that? Is that the one when you coin the dock, you can't launch even after the 2.5 hours, or is that the one that if you just refresh, it solves the problem?
No, it's the coin the dock deal. When you're down. Yeah. And this is a player it hadn't happened to before, so they're not aware of it, and so you just automatically coin your dock right off the bat.
All right.
So, but it hasn't happened to me.
I would say it's always difficult to keep up with that one because there's the 2 bugs with the dock, and the one that you can just refresh and that takes care of it, and the other one that if you coined it, you got to wait your 2.5 hours even though you're about to coin. So yeah, I'm not sure why they can't figure that out because that's been like showing up here and there for quite a while now.
Yeah.
But okay, I do want to go back and cover a little something that we had talked about on Thursday night show in reference to the Tier 7 missile group bonuses, the penetrative group bonuses. So I did a little talking with GDR, and apparently, from what he's told me, yes, their buff continues to go on after they are killed. So you can throw your halos out in the very front of your base and let them be part of your bubble pad since their damage part sucks, and the only reason worth really having them is for the buff that they give to the executioners. So yeah, so that's good information, and I want to make sure everybody knows that. That way, it can, because it really affects your base setup. It really does. Like knowing that you don't have to protect those to keep that buff.
Yeah, definitely. And, I know I put my halos sort of at the back, so maybe it had a chance of maybe hitting something at some stage, but obviously that's not not a thing. So just bung it straight out the front and let it do nothing but apply those buffs.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's wonderful. And I've been protecting them for a while now. And to find that out, well, it gave me a couple extra spots is what it did on the back, that's the crucial spot. So.
Well, yeah, I mean, knowing that you don't have to protect those too, that can change your whole island size, which then allows you to have like a little bit longer channel or a little bit wider footprint for your base itself, So it makes a hell of a difference knowing that. So, do we want to talk a little bit about murder builds, Manicore builds?
Sure.
So, like, obviously we haven't seen the target yet, so we don't know 100% how to go, but there are a few things that you know for sure. Like, for example, you already know what engine you're going to want to put on your Manicore. In my case, it's Speed System 6. So I'm going through and I'm putting Speed System 6 on all mine. If you're going to go with the scattergun version, obviously you're going to be putting scatterguns on it. So you're going to want to go through and put quite a few scatterguns. We do know that it is an assault style format. Typically, in your assault style formats, there are always missiles of some sort involved. So you're going to want to leave like probably maybe 2 slots per boat, maybe for countermeasures. So that's something to keep in mind. We know that the damage types are going to be corrosive and penetrative based on previous assault cycles. So you kind of know like where you want to start looking at your armors and your defense specials and whatnot. Armors could be interesting. I know I myself, armors will probably be one of the last things I put on, just because I'm going to wait to see if there's any new armor that comes out in the FM. I think there's potential that could happen. I don't have any inside information or anything. I think it's a possibility. So I don't know. What else do you guys think is a good direction to tell people to go with their Manicore builds?
You're going to have to be able to battle a fleet to fleet, aren't you? Because from the intro, it says that there'll probably be a fleet in there you're going to have to hit.
Yeah, there's as assault format. There's always a fleet of some sort. Sometimes there's buildings, sometimes there's not. We don't know which direction they're going to go this time. But like the last assault one, you had the Reaver ships with the big mothership and the drones and everything. So yes, there's always a fleet of some sort in assault.
I was going to say, didn't they say something about a mega ship or something like that? Do I remember reading that?
I know they said something about a mega convoy. But I'm not sure if by mega convoy, if they mean there's a mega ships in it, or if they mean it's just a really big convoy.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, I could see it going. I could see it going either way.
Yeah, I thought I remembered reading something about that.
My whole theory and what I suggested to everyone is, I have people messaging me and what to get, and what to do. This exact question, and I say build as many blank hulls as you can before ranking weekend. If you can get engines on them, if you can get we know the defense type. As far as special, I would not worry. Until ranking gets here, we're not going to worry about armor anyway. And so, for sure, for the next week, we know what we want to do. We want to just build blank hulls and get them out there as fast as possible. And that's my plan. I mean,
I think that's pretty much everybody's plan so far, because we're not sure which way we're going to go, whether they're going to go missiles or scatterguns. But I agree 100%. Build them blank and get them done. Is there any ideas on a lead for those, or are we just going to try and build 5 of these?
That'll be a lead. It's a raid hull, so.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm sure next raid there'll be a flagship. That's generally the way it goes. You get your regular boat this raid, and then the next raid you see the flag. So I'm no. Usually you see the flag in the raid. You usually don't see the flag in the TLC. Sometimes you will see the flag in the TLC like the second go around, of the TLC, but usually you always see the flag the first time around in the raid.
No, I don't know. Someone mentioned FM before. I don't know if I remember right that we've gotten the ballistic and the radioactive resistors for the raid hulls. I wonder if there's going to be some penetrative and corrosive resistors coming out.
There is a possibility of it, I suppose, but if you wait for the FM to start putting engines on, and you want to have engines on it for VXP weekend, you're going to have to spend either some coin or some tokens to get those engines applied. That's why I'm just going ahead and doing Speed System 6 now, and then if those resistors do come out, I can refit later.
And are we all going scattergun to start off with, or waiting for the missiles? Because that'll be an interesting one as well.
I'm a lazy pirate. I like autoing targets for the raid because I find a lot of times it gets very repetitive after the first day. So I always tend to go for the auto version. So I know I'll be building scatterguns.
Yeah, I think
me
same.
three.
Sorry.
Me three. That's all I wanted to say.
I'm probably a scattergun myself. If there is a difference between an auto and I prefer the auto type, even if it's a little bit more damage. I understand that's part of the deal. Yeah, I'm giving up. That way, you don't have to worry about lag, game performance. I'll take a little bit of damage and not have to worry about all that. I mean, unless I'm seeing like a huge difference, you know what I mean? They're like the Cannoneer and the Ironclad, the points that you could score from the Cannoneer in its time made it worth getting, in case something like that situation comes about.
Yeah, I'm very hopeful and very optimistic that they're going to keep everything fairly balanced going forward because they know what a big problem that has been. As far as if you don't pick the right boat, you're totally screwed half the time. I think they're very aware of that, really trying to address that. So I'm hoping and optimistic that the balance is going to be there no matter which way you go. But I'm like you. I would rather do auto and know that I'm going to take damage than do the finesse route and hit a lag spike and Christ there went my whole fleet.
Yep. And some people are totally the opposite. They just try to get better and better at their path and the less and less damage. And I like seeing that also in those players too, because that makes it better for all of us when they share what they're doing. So, hopefully it works out for both types of players.
Yeah, because if you are going the missile route, that CIC won't help you because it what's it do? Reduces your range or something.
Yeah, I think it reduces your penetrative range by 10%, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
But you can always build a second fleet with rockets or with missiles. It doesn't, it's up to the individual. If you prefer to have one and then don't like it, rather than refit, build a new fleet. You can do that.
I mean, one of the nicest things I do have to give Kix kudos for is the amount of tokens that we've gotten to be able to build mana cores this raid. Like, you can kind of go from like 0 to 4 in like a heartbeat because you got the 10 assault tokens and you got your regular 5 days and whatever worth of generic ship build tokens, and if you came in with like 2 or 3 build from the FM, so yeah, you can, like, I have 4 mana core hulls done already. Like, they are all blanked out, and they have like one phalanx 4 on each one of them, and they're all done right now. I'm in the process of putting my speed system 6 and 1 weapon on each one of them, and I did that all with tokens that I got from the raid. So definitely kudos on them for allowing us to crank these blank hulls out in time for VXP weekend by doing that. I was a little disappointed that the assault token had a hold capacity of 2, because anybody who might have went into the raid with a long build going, you know, you had to like stop the raid or stop the build, I guess, or use the generic tokens to finish it off so you can start collecting and using your assault tokens. But on the token side, that's my only complaint about that.
Yeah, on the token side of it. You know, I see in chat and a question, and I get asked this too. And this isn't exactly the word for word the question in chat, but it's basically the question. Yeah, if a player is behind and they're playing the catch-up game, say they're just returning to the game, or they're just generally behind in the game, and they do not see the mana core in their sights for this event, what do we have to recommend as far as what's their game plan going into the next event cycle? Are we recommending to players that do not have the Skyfire or Phoenix fleets at this point to get those and work on building those over the next month to do the event, to do lower tier targets, or do we know anything that those will be effective in lower tier targets, or what's the correct thing to be saying to players that are not going to make it to the mana core mark?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of factors in that. You know, number one, it will depend on what kind of alliance you're in. If you're in a really good alliance, it will do a lot of prepping for you. If so, you might want to look at the option, because we all know that next raid that the mana core, instead of 60 million it is now, it'll probably be like 15 million. So, you know, and if you're alliance in a good alliance with a lot of people and they don't mind prepping, your best option might be just, you know, see if people will be willing to prep up to 15 million points for you next raid to claim the mana core at that point, as opposed to starting to build a Phoenix fleet from scratch right now and hope that you can get somewhere in time for the next raid. Now, if you're not in an alliance like that, my recommendation between the Phoenix and the Skyfire would probably be go with the Phoenix, just simply because we know the mana core is going to have a missile build that comes with it. Therefore, we know missiles will be effective in these targets, and the Phoenix is the missile fleet. I would like to think that Skyfires would be effective as well, but we don't know that 100% sure, but we know that missiles are going to be effective. So I would recommend, you know, if your only option is to choose them between one of those two fleets and build them, I would probably go towards the Phoenix side.
I think I agree with that. We need to, if we can't get, if you're helping, if you're in an alliance that helps, and you can't get that person the mana core, then push them towards getting a Phoenix. At least you don't even have to have the gut spell. It'll probably do a pretty good job.
Well, going by history, the Ironclads, how well are they doing? How well are they going? So if they're doing that well with the Ironclads, then maybe there is a bit of a light at the end of the tunnel with your Skyfires or Phoenixes. But you don't know. You just don't know. But the way that we're going with the Ironclads and the Phoenixes and the Skyfires, they may still be viable for the lower targets.
I mean, I know I can say this much, that those of us who do have Kix's ear, I know we are pushing that, you know, you need to make those lower targets available to be able to be done by at least the Phoenixes, if not the Skyfires, the Phoenixes for sure, because are going to be probably quite a few people who can't hit that, you know, 100 million mark to get the mana core and all its specials. So they're going to have to be able to achieve their next raid somehow.
Good deal. That actually answers my question and question that I'm getting by many. you know. And
Yeah, I guess that way too you can use them on the nav relays as well for titanium.
But I would also say this though: just because you don't have enough points to get the mana core now, don't give up. Don't just stop. We're not even. I think we're just now approaching the halfway mark, or is Sunday the halfway mark?
It's 6-day raid. We're on our 3rd day today.
Yeah, so we're like coming up on the halfway mark. So you still have a good bit of time to go out there and get points and stuff. And look at what everybody else is doing around you. See how they're hitting targets, see what's working for them, and and when you see something that's working good for them, try to follow it as best you can. You'd be surprised how many points you can get.
Yeah, don't give up on yourself. Don't say, well, I want to get such and such and quit. I mean, if you got people who are willing to help you in a raid, you want to not beg them, but you want to use their assistance all you can, and don't give up.
Yeah, I mean, and there's a lot of people who are done their own raid at this point already, so there's probably a fair amount of people out there who, if they have a little spare time, would be willing to help prep a couple targets here and there to help you get some bonus points that might just push you over that hump. So don't be afraid to ask and call us for a little bit of help, but also at the same point in time, don't be like an annoying beggar about it either, because odds are people are just going to tell you shut the hell up at that point.
Yeah. And they're more inclined to help you if they can see that you're actually doing something to help yourself as well, instead of just help me.
That old adage goes, help those who help themselves.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at it, you get almost 1,000,000 points for a tier 6 set, which is the B set, yeah? And you can do that with ironclads and whatnot. So if you can do 10 of these a day for the next 6 days, you've got your money core. And if you can't hit the tier 6 set, then you shouldn't have a money core. You should maybe aim for something else. If you're that small a player or whatnot, that you don't even have a decent set of ironclads, then maybe the money core isn't for you just yet. But I've seen a lot of players here grinding, and if you, like I said, if you do 10 or 11 complete sets of those of the tier 6s or the B sets, you can have enough points if some of the alliance mates help you prep for you. You can get to the 60 million. You might not be able to get the weapon or anything, but you will most likely get the hull. That's another option.
Something to remember: Rome was not built in a day. If you just started playing 2 months ago or 3 months ago, you're probably not going to get the top hole. We've all been playing for 7 years. That's why we're able to get the top hole. So Rome was not built in a day. You can't expect to be 2 months into the game and get the top prizes.
Unless you got a huge wallet.
Yeah, or somebody who or somebody who's willing to hand feed you stuff.
Yeah.
And then you have the problem. It's like, okay, I have all this stuff now. I don't know what to do with it. So
you can only build one hull and then dock weight's finished.
So Ross, I know I haven't yet, and you and Murder are 2 bigger PvP guys on the panel today. I'll ask you guys: have you done much looking at the new PvP flagship? Figured out any kind of build, what direction you're gonna go with it, and how effective it's going to be?
Oh yeah, and in fact, I just watched my alliance pretty much get run through by them. They're pretty sweet. They are everything I expected to be and more. If not, the added missile damage seems to be impressive, and it's really changed. Where the old fleet definitely didn't make these same bases that they are today. So it's a nice haul. I'm looking forward to having mine. It's a pretty big build for me to coin myself. I know it's strange, but this time I went PVE, and I'm planning ahead, and I've used my tokens and that type of thing for my PVE, and I'm next raid, and I just want to be set there. It's a little bit more important than if I get smashed for 1 week or not. So I'm delaying mine for a week, and I'll get smashed and run through and get some more ideas. That way I might actually not build it incorrectly right off the bat, but I really like it. I'm really liking the missile version myself. So yeah, I think that's going to be my route. I'll be interested to see the people, possibly rockets or mortars, whatever other options that there are out there.
What sort of missiles are you seeing on them? Sorry, Damnation.
Oh, that's okay.
Ross?
What was your question again, RB?
What sort of missiles are you seeing people fitting on them?
Well, I pretty much think it's the D55X.
Mm-hmm.
It's on there now. It's what I've been seeing. It's just it's an impressive missile. You know, you might run into some weight issues if you're using certain TAC modules. I know I have. But with the number of weapon slots, you know, you're okay. It's a nice haul. I think you'll be able to possibly do a couple different options, you know, of type things with it. I have not seen it used defensively. I have seen it used offensively, and very impressive. Very impressed.
Now, one question I have, and I don't know if you've seen this or not, you can speak to it, but with one of the things I was wondering, the bases now that are going to have like the 4 Executioner 2s and 2 Halos, how well do you think that flagship is going to stand up against bases like that, with it not having as high penetrative deflection out of the box as say what the missile cruiser does?
I think it will not be the last hull to die. That's for sure. It will be in you know, unless you're driving really well and keeping it protective, it will go down first in these hot top bases. But the key will be using that effect while it's alive, you know, because it's in base attack, you do lose that bonus when that ship dies. So that's how it's gonna, you know, it's gonna separate the good hitters from the bad right there, and that's a neat thing.
So I'm wondering. I've looked over it a little bit, but I haven't looked over it in detail. Now it has a bonus to penetrated. Is it just damage or damage and reload? I can't remember.
Yeah, as far as I thought, it was just damage.
Okay, now is that map wide or does it have a range?
Friendly range 70. Is that?
Okay, so it's not something you could use like we used to do the Highlander nuke cruiser back in the day and have it sitting way off to the outside just to get the bus up.
Right. I mean, you can't just put an anti on it so it doesn't target and then go on your business. Right.
Gotcha. Another question on PvP stuff. Do you think the introduction of now being able to have 2 more executioners and getting those tier 7 penetrative bonuses up, do you think that's killed the onslaught as a base hitter?
I don't think so. The onslaught's fared well, but it has slowed them down. I think it put a little more strength back in my base.
I think it might have, and myself, being that there's going to be 4 Executioner 2s now actually firing and landing. The amount of damage actually done in the top end bases might put the 5 fleet onslaught out of business.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm kind of among the same opinion, just because it doesn't have any penetrative deflection coming out of the box. You know, it's at 0, so the only thing you can do is get it up there by adding armors on. And we're looking at some pretty serious numbers that these executioners can crank out at this point, especially on crits. So you know, you could potentially see like and Onslaught's dying in like 1 or 2 shots if you get like 2 crits in a row.
Yes.
So, but don't fear, because that does not mean your Onslaughts are now totally worthless, because Onslaughts make great base card additions. So you just repurpose them for that instead.
They take down gates and portals fast. I mean, there's lots of, I mean, in areas of bases that aren't covered by Executioner 2s, or that don't have all of them. You know, I don't know quite how it will be dependent on how everyone's built theirs also. So I would think it's just the top bases that and not very many players are actually hitting with all Onslaught fleets right now.
But some are trying to use the big range on the Onslaught to get the mortar fleets in, and it does hurt them.
Yeah, so like obviously we'll be able to tell more as time progresses, but Onslaught's maybe a little bit on the downhill slide at this point. We'll just have to feel it out and see where it goes.
Damn, I wish you hadn't have said that. I already got 2 more.
No, well, like I said, they're great base card additions, though. I mean, they do a hell of a good job on base cards. You know, especially if you put the engine disruptor on them and then load them down with chain guns. Oh hell yeah, they're really good there. So I don't know what else you guys want to talk about. We still got a little bit of time.
Just got my 3rd mana core out. Thank you very much.
No, there you go.
Nice. I was just going to say, I was looking at the speed on the Mauler, and it's like a little bit slower than the missile cruisers. So I guess having it dragging behind a little bit is a good thing, because you want it to live as long as possible to get those effects.
Yes, I absolutely totally agree with that. What else you guys got? And chat, also, do you have anything that you want to ask us that we can talk about for a little bit? Don't all speak up at once.
Where'd he go?
I was going to say just going right back to the start, on the if you are doing the Hydra campaign, talking about taking out the long range turrets first, if you can, try and work out a pattern that you don't have like 2 or 3 of them firing at you at once. You want to try and just have one firing at a time. So there's, you know, check out your patterns. You can work out ways that will happen. And the big one is go straight at the gate, not or straight onto the gate. Don't try and hit those blunders, because they will blunder you.
Yeah, for sure.
You get the radiation damage off the little satellites that land out there, and I'm not sure what the name of them are, but does it appear that the emitters? Thank you. That they have increased the range of those just a little bit more?
I haven't noticed it.
I know with Hydras, if you have, 1 or 2 of the long-range Hydras, if you go perpendicular to them, you can still outrange it. If you try to come in straight at them to take them out, with that not being an actual real circle, more of a oval type shape, you're probably going to get into the field a little bit. So you need to definitely move perpendicular to them. Like we should have videoed that one hit that Toxic tried to do with his Hydras last night, that we could have showed everybody what not to do. he had a rough one on his trial.
Bullying and harassment live on air. They got it, folks.
Hey, that was my first harassment of you this show. I got to get one. But yeah, it's really weird with the gate because intuitively you just want to kind of come into it from an angle and try to take out the cannon first or whatever. But yeah, if you try to do that, you're going to get face planted into the blunderbusses. So you got to like kind of go up around to in front of it and come in straight like in between the two turrets and just inch your way up there.
Definitely.
Legion of Crow wants us to talk about maybe using the Mauler for defense rather than offense. What do you guys think about that? I haven't really looked at it as far as a defensive ship and really done a lot of looking at it that way yet. I don't know if any of the rest of you guys have or not.
Well, I'm not prepared to lose my Omni for it, so it would have to be really, really impressive, I guess. That's my take on it.
It will take your flag spot, won't it?
Yeah.
No. Yeah, I mean my personal put the pipe down.
There's a second.
We'll have some more.
Yeah, I don't think it'll work very well. At least at this point in time, just no more than I've studied it.
Yeah, I have to say I'm not ready to give up my Omni as my flagship either. I actually have a really good build for my Omni currently. That like it's almost unkillable. It seems like from what times I've gotten hit, people just fire at it, and my health bar would hardly move. So I'm not willing to give up my Omni at this point.
Yeah, it'd have to be pretty impressive. If it buffed the turrets, that might be a different story, but that's not going to happen.
Is that right?
No, I think we're a long way from a turret buff. I mean, in the way.
Well, the turrets buff themselves nowadays. We don't have to have a turret buff.
That's true. Hey, some don't even do anything. Mine turn away. Mine were like, and just turn. They're like a show of strength with nothing behind them. North Korea. That's what I'm naming my draconian coaxials. North Korea.
I was thinking Democrats, but we were along the same lines.
Yeah.
We're probably going to get a bunch of thumbs down on that one.
Sorry about that.
50-50.
I'm joking, guys. I'm joking. That's the one thing I don't want to ever get into really on here is politics, because that just makes everything downhill.
Hey, I think it's okay. I think we can slam and troll on North Koreans because I don't imagine they have the internet. Right? I mean,
I'm not sure. I think this might be like Battle Pirates might be banned there. I'm not 100% sure. I know it's banned in a couple different countries. Yeah.
Okay. Well, there we'll just stick to that then.
But anyway, moving right along.
Wow.
So, I don't know. Do you guys have anything else you want to hit on, or you just want to call a little bit early?
We could go over crews, I guess. If there's any crews that you've found that are working well, the demo is the obvious one for me, anyway.
Right.
I know for grease monkeys, like we tend to shy away from using grease monkeys on while you're actually hitting and like put them back in your slot in your dock and use them there. But I found actually autoing the S target with the grease monkey on the fleet while I was autoing it worked out just fine for me. So that saves you a lot of time with not having to like go in and out and switch your fleet to a different slot to use the grease monkey. I just like left it on and went in, and I didn't have any problems at all.
Yeah.
I'm doing the 80s right now with steelhead, just to gain a little more defense. So, but if I'm using the campaigns, I'm going to use the demos.
Yeah.
No,
And
I've not used
have
any.
you found any? Sorry, Toxic, go for it.
No, you go. Off you go.
Oh, I was going to say, just have you found any problems with steelheads? Because there were, I've seen posts all over the place of there was more damage with them and that sort of thing.
I can't tell you that for sure because I'm just really getting to a point where I'm starting to prep, and that's prep in the 80s, and since I was doing the campaign before, but I'm not taking much damage.
Oh, that's good.
I know some easy to get crews I found that were a little bit helpful was I think it's Wrecking Crew, the one that does 14% extra damage to buildings and whatnot. I mean, you know, anything that helps you kill stuff a little bit quicker makes it so you're not getting shot at by it as long, so that can be helpful. Evade Crew to help you maybe possibly evade some of those long-range cannon shots could be helpful. And they're usually fairly easy to get. I think they're both, you know, just regular crews.
The evade crew did not work well for me at all, but the ballistic crew that gives you the speed buff right at the front, I used that in a couple campaigns, and boy, it did a great job.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, and that makes sense because the quicker you close in on that turret and kill it, that's less time you're shooting at you.
But it has a 11% critical too, which helps. So
right. So yeah, I think that's our best advice on crews. Yeah, I don't know that I really have anything else my own self.
This is the first time I've had the boon, so figuring out how the boon actually worked. And boy, it's made a huge difference. Oh,
the boon makes all the difference. It's actually as a great segue in for the one thing I did want to say. I meant to say it Thursday, and I totally forgot. For if you're going out and you're hitting targets and you have the boon or you have the Blood Hydra set up as, you know, a Healy ship with the Mercy CIC on it, whenever you go back to your base to heal your stuff, don't heal your other 4 boats. Just heal your flagship that does all the healing to your other boats. Because, you know, it'll keep your regular Buccaneers at like 75% throughout the targets, and it saves you a whole lot of coin on your repairs. So just get your boon back up to full health and leave the other ones at 75%, and you'll be golden. That's what I've been doing all raid, and, you know, it saves you like 2 to 3 coins per repair that you have to do if you're doing the coin thing.
Yeah, even if you lose your whole fleet in an 80, just repair, put a coin on the boon, and then zombie the other $4, go back in a 40 and let the boon heal the bucks, then go back into the base and put another coin on it, and you can play for another hour. So, and the same goes for Hydras. Hydras do the same thing with the Blood Hydra.
Yeah, I'm just this is the first raid I've had the boon also, and I'm used to coining the whole fleet, so it's a little bit of work. You know, you have to bring that out, take that off, but now I'm to the point where I just am repairing, letting it slow repair in the dock, and when I see that first ship, the boon's repaired, it's time for me to go back out and do the campaign again. So it's really worked. That boon's saving me a ton of coin. It's nice haul.
Also, every time you hit the base, you bring back resources which you need to build all your many cores.
Yeah, because boy, those things are resource heavy. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
I don't remember us getting resources last raid, did we?
We got some. I guess a lot of it depends on how often you go back to your base too.
Yeah, well, I put my other fleet on auto, the Hydra's on auto in the 60s, and about every set it was getting 500%. Just go dump that and come back.
Yeah, that's why I'm hitting the 89s now, because it's giving me res and, you know, a few more points.
Yeah, because I know a lot of people, if they're out just, you know, autoing smaller targets, even though they're at 500%, if they don't have to repair, they're not coming back into their base. They're just going. So, yeah, they're probably not getting really any res, really. So it's definitely something to be aware of. If you get to the 500%, like, drop your res off and then go back out. Because when you start building those mana cores, that res is going to disappear quick. Because it's like, what, 200 million of each res?
Yeah. The maul is pretty heavy too.
Yeah. I've almost leveled up, gone up a level this raid, It's crazy. I mean, I've built a few hulls. I've built a hub. I've built King's Ritz and all that sort of stuff with the coin, with the tokens. But yeah, I've almost leveled up.
It's almost like back in the old days where every raid you would go up like a level, level and a half, sometimes 2 levels.
There's a little bit of a space between my level, but I do have to say that even I am about to level up on this one.
What level will you be then? Like 275 or something crazy?
I'm real close to level 140. So I'm a 139 now.
You spent way too much money on this game, Ross.
Time. I spent too much time.
Combination of the two. I'll give you a little bit of time just so you don't feel that bad. All right. Well, yeah, I think we pretty much exhausted all our topics of conversation, unless anybody in chat has anything that they want us to hit on that we haven't yet. Speak now or forever hold your peace. We'll give you a good 2 minutes, and we'll just ramble on for a minute, see if there's anything else. So Ross, let's talk about your Fishing expedition. Oh wait, you didn't get to go.
Man, yeah, it's really been a bummer. But watching the national news, I've been affected by a storm, so I'm stuck here in Iowa until Monday at least, and then I'll be heading south for the week at least to fish. But it looks to me like the whole country's getting hit by a storm right now. I mean, everybody I talk to is having internet issues, and it's because of weather. So not only here, I think pretty much across the Midwest at least.
I know we're not having storms here, but we went from Monday, we actually had snow flurries, to the past 2 days it's been like 90 degrees.
That's crazy.
So there you go. We've had like a 60-degree temperature swing over the course of 4 days. It's pretty insane. But yeah, I'm not seeing anything from chat, so I guess we're going to call it here. Thanks you guys in chat for coming out. It's definitely always appreciated, and we appreciate you asking us questions that we can try to answer for you. Hopefully we give you some good information, and make sure you give us a thumbs up, a like, a subscribe if you haven't, and share us to all your pages that we don't know about. And until next time, we will talk to you then. Have a good one.
See y'all.
Good night.
Good luck with your raid.